What do you have to do to get 26 million views on a TED Talk? You have to do something pretty outstanding. Give the public something that they've probably never experienced before, and yet is of real value to them. What do you have to do to get on Oprah? You have to do something which Oprah regards as significant, as a service to people at large, because this is where Oprah's been coming from for a long time now. When the TED Talks first started, there were no TEDx talks, there were just TED Talks. And these were for people who were regarded as really significant, as contributors to the welfare of human beings. And the 5th TED Talk ever was done by Jill Bolte-Taylor, a neurophysiologist. When she gave her presentation, it went viral. It was so successful that it really put TED on the world stage. And from that followed TEDx talks. Jill then wrote a book about her presentation. It was called My Stroke of Insight. Very significant. My Stroke of Insight. And after that she wrote a book which was on the best-selling list in New York for months. And then after that, and very recently, she wrote another book, which I'm reading now. Whole Brain Living, The Anatomy of Choice, and the 4 Characters that Drive Our Life. I'd like to read a little bit out of that book, a quote, because I think it is very important to know. It's about this left brain, right brain thing, which we all have, 2 halves to the brain. Here's what she said. Before the stroke, I had been proactive and willing to compromise my relationships by moving away from both my home and those I loved for the status and monetary gain of a career as a neuroanatomist at Harvard. She continues, although I was truly grateful to recover the vast and important abilities of my left brain character post-stroke, I was no longer willing to choose the treadmill of work, work, work. Pre-stroke, my left brain character, 1, had defined success through the achievement of external reward. Post-stroke, my right brain characters found meaning through the internal standards of loving, being loved, and being of service to others. Note something very important here. When Jill had her stroke, it changed her completely. Her left-hand brain hemisphere went out of service, so to speak, and she could only operate from her right brain, only conceive and see the universe through that. And what a different perspective it was. And then, gradually, over a period of 8 long years, neuroplasticity gradually brought her left hemisphere back online again. And it's when the left-hand brain was restored that she was able to do the TED Talk, My Stroke of Insight, do the various interviews, and write the various books. If you haven't already done so, I strongly advise you to go to TED Talks and put in Jill Bolte-Taylor, that's Bolte hyphen Taylor, Jill Bolte-Taylor, My Stroke of Insight. It's a revelation. It will bring a lot of clarity to what and who you are. My strong advice, do it. I've watched it a few times over the years since 2008 when it came out, and it is undoubtedly one of the best talks, most significant talks, and most important to you talks that'll ever be given on TED.